If one day the corpse explodes, as ordinary people, how do we live in the endless day of isolation? In an ordinary morning, Adam woke up from a dream. The sexy bedside table has left on its own. Adam lazily went to the bathroom to wash his face, but he didn't know that the world had changed so much at this time. There was noise and noise in the corridor. Adam didn't care, turned on the TV, but only saw the interface of the emergency broadcast system. When he couldn't touch his head, a scream suddenly broke out downstairs. Adam hurriedly ran to the balcony. What he saw was a scene like a dream. He only saw a plane crash into the building next to it. In the violent explosion, his body shattered into pieces. A little girl asked the people who were running for their lives for help. Who knew that the next second she would be knocked down by a few rioters? Adam was so scared that he backed off. At this time, the neighbor next door suddenly rushed into the house in a panic. He explained his identity to Adam and told him that he was attacked by his roommate. At the same time, the TV broadcast heard the sound of the host. Adam only knew that an unknown virus was spreading in the city. Those who were infected not only bleed their eyes, but also scream and bite people. This virus spreads through blood. In other words, as long as you are bitten or scratched, you are very likely to become infected. Adam and his neighbor looked at each other. Everything was fine. Although the neighbor repeatedly denied that he was not infected, his body began to mutate very honestly. 1 second before Adam was about to turn into a monster, he kicked him out of the house in time. Through the cat's eyes, Adam terrified to see that his neighbor, who was conscious, was eaten by 2 monsters. Everything he had experienced in the morning gave Adam a deep fear. He tried to numb himself with alcohol, but the text messages from his father on his phone reminded him that all this was real. Adam called his father over and over again to try to confirm the safety of his parents and sister, but no one answered the phone. But in this case, no news may be good news. At night, Adam put a poster with the word "alive" on the family portrait. It seemed that he had the courage to live on. Time soon came to the 7th day. With the in-depth study of the virus, experts found that those infected people were only willing to eat uninfected living things, and they seemed to have retained a sense of reason, and even a strong sense of anger and shame. Obviously, these infected people were more difficult to deal with than ordinary corpses. Adam didn't know how long he could hold out. To encourage himself, he began to shoot vlogs to record his daily life. By the time he was in his 20s, Adam's food had run out, and the tap water in the apartment had stopped. Adam knew that if he wanted to live, he had to leave here, but he didn't dare to step out of the door. That night, Adam was shooting today's vlog on his computer, but he suddenly heard a strange sound coming from the bathroom. Adam was so scared that he didn't make a sound. He took a baseball bat and carefully walked into the living room. Before he pushed the door of the bathroom open, an infected person fell off the ceiling. Fortunately, Adam was quick-sighted and hit the infected person's skull with a baton. This did not cause a more serious consequence. Adam, who was originally timid, dared not go out. This kind of life continued until he received a call from his father. Through the phone's microphone, Adam clearly heard the whole process of being mutated into an infected sister and being killed by her mother's colleague. Then there was a scream that told him that his parents must have been very fierce. After a great sorrow, Adam's heart was filled with anger at the infected person. He picked up the baseball bat and courageously walked out of the door. However, as soon as he opened the door, he regretted it. He could only see some of his neighbors lying in the corridor, shouting in his mouth that he was fine. At the same time, there was a desire for food in his eyes. The neighbors' screams attracted a few infected people and instantly threw Adam to the ground. He tried his best to escape the shackles and ran to the fire escape. After seeing the cruelty of the outside world, Adam's courage, which had just started, was suddenly extinguished. Just like that, a few days later, Adam, who had eaten all the food, decided to end himself. He tore off the newspaper on the window and hung himself on the southeast branch. But at the moment of suffocation, Adam actually saw a living person in the opposite building, and it was a beautiful woman. The appearance of the beautiful woman made Adam want to die instantly. His little head and big head exerted strength together and soon got rid of the shackles on his neck. Adam lay on front of the window and surprised to greet the beautiful woman across the street. But the beautiful woman obviously regarded him as a pervert. Without communicating for a while, he quietly pulled up the curtain. The next day, Adam greeted the beautiful woman with a note prepared in advance. It was at this time that Adam learned that the beautiful woman's name was Eve. The fate of the two people was not shallow just by looking at the name. Under the effect of hanging the bridge, Adam felt that he had fallen in love with Eve. That night, Adam collected rainwater with all the water he could fill and took the opportunity to take a bath on the balcony. Eve, the greedy girl, also hid behind the curtain and quietly watched the whole process. The next morning, Adam took out a rope-strung baseball, and the two worked together to build a passage with the rope. But just when Adam was excited to share drinks with Eve, an infected person came looking for the movement. He saw that the other person was going to climb to Eve's house. Adam shouted to attract the attention of the infected person. When the infected person climbed onto Eve's balcony, Adam quickly picked up the baseball stick and smashed the other person into a pile of meat. Adam had no choice but to venture out to look for food. He came to the corridor and found the key to his house on the body of his neighbor. The neighbor's house was obviously a fight. There was blood everywhere on the wall and on the floor. There was also an infected person who was bitten in half on the bed in the bedroom. Fortunately, Adam found food in the kitchen and found a mountain rope and a rope under the bed in the bedroom. Just when he was sick of taking the rope under the bed, an infected person rushed out from some corner of the house. Adam got rid of the infected person and gave the woman on the bed a good time. That's how he got home with a full harvest. What was surprising was that in addition to food and tools, Adam also found 2 walkie-talkies in his backpack. He was excited to finally be able to talk to Eve. But now, how to give Eve a walkie-talkie has become a problem again. When he thought of Eve, it seemed that Adam had lost his mind. He ruled out all highly safe plans and eventually decided to go down the stairs through the rope and throw the walkie-talkie at him from downstairs. After a lot of tossing and turning, Adam, who was exhausted, finally came to the ground. He observed the movement of the infected person and adjusted the angle and direction, and successfully threw the walkie-talkie on the balcony of Eve's house. But before Adam was happy, a bunch of infected people rushed to him. Adam quickly hid on the platform on the 2nd floor and escaped the chase with the main character halo. The next day, Adam couldn't wait to use the walkie-talkie to chat with Eve. The two talked about heaven and earth, and a sour smell of love was emitted. With the encouragement of love, Adam instantly felt that his waist was not sore, his legs did not hurt, and he even had the energy to go to the 5th floor. After the call with Eve, Adam hurriedly went out to play. However, this time he did not choose to leave the corridor, but through the ventilation duct action. Adam carefully crawled in the ventilation duct and was attacked by a dead infected person when passing by a dead end. Adam was shocked and took a long time to calm down. He took a few steps forward, kicked the lid of the ventilation duct, and came to the bathroom of a house. There was blood in the bathtub next to it. Strangely, there was no body or infected person. Adam didn't take this matter to heart. After a simple inspection of the surroundings, he walked straight to the kitchen, opened the cabinet above, and saw a lot of emergency food, and even his favorite heart-shaped bread. Adam excitedly took out the walkie-talkie and shared his joy with Eve. However, Eve did not show the happiness Adam imagined. She said that compared to food, what she cared more about was Adam's safety. Just now, Adam did not answer, and she thought the other party had suffered a setback. She was very worried about him. Eve's words made Adam feel beautiful. Now, he deeply realizes that he is also a good man who can be relied upon. Adam cleaned up while having fun, but at this moment, he suddenly found that the door of the room was blocked by the refrigerator. This means that there must be a second person in the room. Eve reminded him to leave quickly, but Adam was reluctant to leave that pile of food. As he nervously checked to see if there was anyone, a man with long hair suddenly appeared behind him. The old man introduced that he was not the owner of this house, and he was just lucky to hide in. Now, he is the only one in the room. The original owner had committed suicide in the bathtub. The body was wrapped in a blanket by the old man and placed in the living room. Adam took advantage of the old man to take something and scanned the living room. As expected, he saw a body wrapped in a blanket behind the curtain. He was very confused. At this time, the old man brought a plate of food and invited him to enjoy it together. Adam waited for the old man to start eating before he could eat at ease. Then the old man inquired Adam logically. During this time, was he always alone? Adam did not tell him about Eve, only said that he did not have a roommate or a girlfriend. The old man did not ask again. Then the two began to talk about if the other half was infected, would he give up his love? The old man said to himself that if he had lived with a person for most of his life and the two were in love with each other, one look could guess what the other person was thinking. But suddenly one day, that person was sick and he no longer looked at him with full of love. Then he would wake him up regardless of everything. Adam listened to the clouds and fog and thought the old man had made a fool of himself. But the old man suddenly began to apologize to him. He also said that there was a bottle of wine on the cabinet and he could take it away directly. Adam was not prepared. He turned around and began to take the top wine bottle. When he just got the wine bottle, the old man knocked him out with a stick. When he woke up again, Adam found himself tied in the bedroom. There was also a person on the bed that kept yelling, killing his own infected person. Obviously, Adam was deceived by the old man. He tied the infected wife to the bedroom and pretended to be generous to share food with Adam. In fact, he had long regarded her as his wife's dinner. After the old man's neighbor committed suicide, the old man tried to feed the corpse to his wife. But unfortunately, the infected person did not eat dead things, so he could only put the corpse in the living room. After that, the old man's wife ate the 2 dogs that they had raised, and the unlucky Adam was about to become the first living person he ate. Although Adam begged the old man to spare his life, he also said that if the old man's wife woke up, he would never forgive himself. But the old man, who was crazy about love, kept telling Adam how good his wife was. Just when Adam was in despair, the intercom in the living room suddenly made the sound of Eve. The old man was so surprised that he ran to the living room to look for food. Adam took the opportunity to break free from the shackles. When the old man reacted, it was too late. Adam pushed the old man back to his wife. This is how the old couple achieved the achievement of being integrated. But before Adam was happy for a long time, Eve inside the intercom said the infected man had broken into her room. When Adam heard that the goddess was in trouble, he quickly ran to the room next door. He jumped from the balcony to his house and slid down the bedsheet. At this time, an infected man rushed to him. Adam picked up a gun and shot him in the head. Unexpectedly, the gunshot caused more attention to the infected men. They rushed to Adam and even jumped down from the building. Eve immediately put down the bedsheet. Adam hurriedly climbed up the bedsheet. The infected man behind also climbed up in the same way. Adam jumped to the balcony below Eve. He broke the bedsheet and made the infected man fall off the building. At this time, the infected man on the building also broke the glass and rushed to Eve. Under Adam's encouragement, Eve slid down the bedsheet. The 2 ran to the fire escape. As soon as Adam opened the door, he was knocked down by an infected man. Eve plucked up the courage to kill the infected man. Then Adam escorted Eve back to his house. Looking at the blood on his body, Adam thought he had been bitten by the infected man. He planned to sacrifice himself to keep Eve safe, but he took off his clothes and found that he was unharmed. After this witch-hunting incident, the love of the 2 was revived. But can they make it through the end of the day? This is still an unknown number.